I want to thank everyone for coming out today. We've had a really good response on this. Matter of fact, Councilman Nowakowski already had somebody call his office today, and he'll talk about it in his part, talking about the need for this type of concern and this type of law protecting individual privacy. And the main message we want to put out today is that individual privacy matters. We're looking at making the city of Phoenix the best city in the country when it comes to protecting individual privacy. We very much understand the needs of individual privacy and at the same time the commercial needs that are out there. We've created an ordinance we believe that balances both the commercial side and the need for individual privacy, making us the best in the nation. As this ordinance moves forward, primarily through Councilman Nowakowski's subcommittee, we are encouraging individuals to give us their ideas so that we can change the ordinance, find out if there are any unintended consequences that we have not addressed, and see if there are any other areas that we can put in place that protect individual privacy. This ordinance is intended to protect our privacy and our security. Individuals should be able to do anything that they want, lawful things that they want, in the privacy of their own home. This literally says on your own personal property, your own private property, you have rights of not having others, at least electronic peeping toms, looking into your backyard. You wouldn't expect someone to stand on your fence videotaping you in your pool, videotaping your family. Likewise, you should not expect an electronic peeping tom hovering hundreds of feet over your home to be able to view everything that you're doing in the privacy of your backyard. Currently, there are no laws protecting individual rights in the privacy of their own home. Likewise, we should also expect privacy from our government. Government should not be able to look into our families, look into what we're doing, into our own personal lives without reasonable cause, that there might be a crime being committed of some type or that there's other situations where they need to be there. So likewise, not only protecting us from our individuals that are neighbors, but also looking at protecting us from the government as well. Privacy laws need to keep pace with technology. As technology advances, privacy laws need to keep up with that. Otherwise, as individuals, we're going to end up losing our privacy. Where there's a legitimate use of drones for commerce, art, journalism, there's also the potential for these drones to be used for nefarious purposes, such as to case our properties, breaking into it, to harass or track potential victims, or simply invade someone's privacy. Every individual in the city of Phoenix has a reasonable expectation of privacy in their own private property, in their own backyard, and you should not lose that privacy just because your neighbor has a new toy. This ordinance prohibits camera-equipped drones from making recordings over someone else's private property without their consent, and the ordinance also prohibits the sale and distribution of such recordings. Councilman Nowakowski is the chair of the Public Safety and Veterans Subcommittee. He will be looking at this and taking it forward, but Councilman Nowakowski has been a leader when it comes to protecting individual privacies, not only in Phoenix, but in the state of Arizona. Michael?
Thank you, Sal. That was Sal DiCiccio from District 6. Sal, I want to thank you so much for your concerns and always bringing new agenda items to the Public Safety Subcommittee. As Sal stated, I'm the chairman of the Public Safety and Veterans Subcommittee. I understand the need to use drones, but at the same time, I understand the needs of private rights, privacy rights. Police departments across the country are considering using drones. The ordinance that we're considering or that we're proposing clearly makes it that the police officers can only use the drones when it comes, if they have a warrant, if they're in a hot pursuit of a suspect, or if they're in search for a missing or abused person. Police should not be able to invade your personal private space. As a father of 5 children under the age of 12, I can only imagine my kids horseplaying in the backyard and one of my neighbors using a drone to fly across and take pictures of my kids, or a person that is a child molester, preying on children and putting that on the internet or using it for their own personal entertainment. It's wrong, folks. We all have rights as citizens, and we want to make sure that those rights are protected. And I really want to thank Councilmember Sal DiCiccio and all the individuals that sit on the Public Safety Veterans Subcommittee for considering the city of Phoenix to be one of the major cities to actually create an ordinance on drones. This is so important. It's all about privacy, privacy, privacy for those individuals. You all have rights, and we don't want to abuse those rights. Sal, can you kind of tell us about what are some of the uses of drones that are positive, that are being used in a positive way?
Well, some of the drones that are used and that we make sure we address within the draft ordinance that we put together are uses for commercial reasons, for Google, for Amazon. Amazon's now looking at delivering drones, or delivering packages via drones. This does not interfere with that. What it does is it literally looks at two areas. One, individual privacy, protecting us from individuals that have nefarious reasons or want to do some harm to our families or to our property. The other thing that it does is it addresses and says that if police do want to look into our privacy of our backyard, they have to have reasonable cause to be videotaping us as individuals in our society. So we not only protect ourselves from the individuals, our neighbors who just got a new toy, but we also believe that we need protections from the government, from the policing agencies, to protect our own personal rights, our personal freedoms, and our personal rights of freedom of basically from government.
You know, this morning, Sal, I got a letter from a resident of District 7, and they were thanking us for actually bringing this up to light. They were saying that their neighbor has flew their drone into their backyard space twice already, and that they've asked their neighbor, please, can you respect our private personal space? And the neighbor basically told this individual, good luck. So she called the police twice. The police basically said that there isn't much that they can do right now. So we need to hear these stories. We need you all to call our offices. Call District 6, call District 7, call Sal DiCiccio, MichaelNowakowski, and let us know if you have these examples. These are the examples that we need to bring to the subcommittee. These are the examples of the violations that are out there. We don't have any ordinances right now that protects the airspace over your private property, and that's what this is all about, folks, is protecting your space over your private property, protecting your children and your families and yourselves, to making sure that you have that privacy that you deserve. And then Sal, what's that little toy you have right there?
Well, this is just one of the drones that are out there right now, but this is only $65 that you can purchase online. Now, there are drones out there that you literally plug in a GPS coordinate. It will fly over that person's location. You don't even have to man it yourself. It will videotape, it will stay there, it will hover until the battery wears out, basically, which could be hours and hours and hours. So your personal space, your personal privacy, your right to privacy could be easily invaded by anybody, the government or individuals down the street or miles away that have these drones that can look into your backyard, look into the things that you're doing in your personal, you may be gardening or you may be swimming, you can do that, and it can take pictures of your family, and it can also case your home to see who's home and who's not home. So the idea of this ordinance is to be very comprehensive, to put a draft out there for people to respond to. We need people to be able to respond to us and tell us and look at it. We think we were pretty comprehensive, but we want the public to be able to look at these drones and say, what else is there that we need to be covering that we did not think about?
So $60, right?
Yeah, this was $65 online.
And there's some that are even more expensive that do what?
Well, there's some, like we said, who just literally, you just plug in a GPS coordinate, Councilman Nowakowski, you put in the GPS coordinate, and the next thing you know, it's flying over that location. Wow. And it could videotape, it could be so high that you don't even know it's there. And so as individuals, one of the most important rights that we have is our right to privacy, our right to the Fourth Amendment, unreasonable searches and seizures. So likewise, you'll see governments, especially policing agencies, and I love our police department, I think they're fantastic, but like anything else in life, you've got to make sure you have a check and balance put in place. The question is, if you're doing nothing wrong, there is no reasonable cause for anybody to be looking at you, investigating you, looking at everything that you're doing, you should expect that level of privacy from your government, just like you should expect that level of privacy from your next door neighbor.